kitties, to another episode of RatG TV with your hosts, Zeus and the Wellandwingnut. And they thought I was the crazy one.
Black magic. You got to know, got to show, it's time to roll. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want, so just tell me what you want to hear.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of RatG TV. It's your boy Zeus, and joining me as he does week to week, it's the one and only Wellandwingnut, Steve Lambert.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, you know, not a thing. Just chilling like a villain. And I'm trying to think of some other cool '90s references, but yo, man,
That's
I'm
whack.
all that.
That's
whack. Well, you know, buddy, I'm all that and a bag of chips. Yes, welcome back to another edition of RatG TV, your weekly update for all things geek. It's right there in the title. Brought to you each and every week by myself and Steve Lambert, the Wellandwingnut here. And every week we come to you with, some kind of, theme for the week. We do our top fives every week. And this week, I've been hearing a lot of great things about the newest Godzilla movie, Godzilla -1. I'm hearing it's a great monster movie, maybe the best Godzilla movie of all time. So with that in mind, I put it out to Steve, and I'm like, hey, why don't we do the best monster movies of all time, or our favorite monster movies of all time? And that's what we've done. So we're going to be heading on that. We talked last week. I got a new addition to my family, a nice little baby Lily Stone, my first granddaughter, who is absolute perfection. And Steve, this week you had an addition to the family.
Yeah, kind of a last minute thing. I mean, we've been talking about it, but we didn't know if it was really going to be in the cards. But we were on Kijiji last night, and we just could not resist picking up this little ball of fucking energy.
Get that.
With the cute little dot on her butt.
It almost looks like a black heart on her butt. Call it a little black heart. Awesome. Yeah, well, that's great. I'm glad to see you guys got another addition to the family there. And I mean, you guys are great dog people, so I'm sure she's in a good home.
She will definitely be spoiled.
Will be. She probably is already. Did she have filet mignon for the first meal?
Oh,
She did. It was great. So anyway, so we will be talking this week about the best monster movies of all time. Of course, you saw the little monster right there with Steve. And then, of course, we've got movie news that we bring to you each and every week, and that is This Week in Geek. And, of course, Steve comes to us each and every week with Steve's 5-second movie review. And, Steve, what is your movie this week?
I watched something else that was new this week, and
we can't remember what it is.
because I partake in the left-handed cigarettes. My mind doesn't work the way it used to. So I'm going to review a movie I watched last week, which is still new, and that's of course the Amazon original Bye Bye Barry, the documentary about the greatest running back of all time, in my opinion.
And mine as well. And I think that's everyone from our era that got to watch him play. And it's funny because I think even people prior to our generation thought of Barry as the greatest of all time too. All those that were like Walter Payton or Jim Brown fans would say Barry as well. But
Yeah.
it's hard to disagree if you're not that generation.
Yeah, nothing against Jim Brown or Walter Payton, but they were kind of north and south runners.
Right.
You know? That was the old smash them up, fucking run it up the gut football. And Barry
He's talented.
didn't do that.
No, Barry ran everywhere. Barry would run.
He would run for 30, but it would be for 60.
That's what I was just gonna say. He would run 140 yards to get to. So he most definitely was the greatest running back I've ever seen play. And this is coming from a Vikings fan, so I would see him twice a year. And that was always fun. We're like, all right, just don't give it to Barry, and we got a shot. Even when he gave it to Barry, Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a longtime Bengals fan since mid to late 80s. But yeah, Barry Sanders has always been my favorite player of all time.
Yeah. Never ever once spiked the ball in the end zone. I remember
Well,
just
we'd always just hand it to the ref.
Yeah, that just impressed me so much when I was a kid. So yeah, man.
His dad always told him, act like you've been there before.
Exactly. Which is more people need to do that. So we'll have that moving forward. We got all that and more. We got our TikTokers of the week. And of course, the show brought to you each and every week, folks, by the fine folks over at DocNet. Folks, if you are looking to save some money in the bills and you don't want to sacrifice quality for money, do yourself a favor. Go over to docnet.ca. Give Tony a call. Tell him that the guys over at RatG TV sent you. Have them take care of your home cable packages and internet packages. Just do the smart thing. Get the same service you're getting from the big guys, but don't pay the big guys' prices. Have DocNet. Connect your home to the world as we DocNet. That being said, all right. First things first, because we are up, we're going early here. We're going to do our first TikToker of the week, and then we'll move on to the second one. I love these guys. The first one here is a joke. These are a group of Aussies, and their whole TikTok channel, it's like a competition where they try to get the other ones to laugh. But they're saying dad jokes basically. You can write them or you can look them up. And if you make the other person laugh, they take a shot. But if you laugh as well, you take it. Anyone who laughs that's at the table has to take a shot. And I love these. And here's another one. This is one of the ones I found pretty funny.
What's the best part about having a hooker die on you?
What?
The second hour is free.
You are shaking the table so hard that you're going to spill it.
That's really good.
Seth loves a deal.
You like that one? Yeah. Thank you.
Yo, I love those guys, but it's hard.
That would be me. I would be losing as a result of my own jokes.
That guy, every single joke he tells, he's laughing before he gets to the punchline almost every time. So the girl that's in that video, she's dressed up as in a prison outfit. Dude is an ex-convict. Yeah.
They're gonna play.
Yeah, she's pretty brutal. She's pretty brutal. All that in mind, there you go, folks. That is the first of our two TikToks of the night. I guess we should call them TikToks. Seems though they're brought to us by DocNet. The TikTok nets. Wow. Boom. Blew our mind, folks, right there. All right, let's get started, Steve. This week, we're doing our top 5 favorite monster movies. It's hard to determine what a monster movie is as opposed to a ghost movie, as opposed to it. Like I had my number 1, I had to change it because I wasn't sure it was a monster movie or an alien movie. So it got my honorable mention instead, but it would have been my number 1 just because it was on the fence. But Steve, as we do each and every week, why don't you get us started here?
Yeah, I first want to start off with usually I don't usually I have an honorable mention, but it's one that missed my list. This one was nowhere near my list because this is the worst fucking monster ever. I enjoy the movies. But they lose every time. And that's the Predators.
Yeah, they suck. So they're not good. I'm looking for your list.
This is my proposition. A Predator movie, because we're doing like the period ones now. We did we got the Predator in I'm not sure what the timeline was there, but
back in time with the North Americans or the Native Americans.
But I propose a World War II Predator movie where the Predator comes down and kills the fuck out of the Nazis and wins.
And that's so what you're saying is that the Americans couldn't have won on their own, that they needed an alien to beat the Germans?
Well, they did need the Russians, so.
fair. This is fair.
Yeah, my number one was one I thought I might have to change because I thought for sure you might have this one on our list, and I love the name given to him by the actor in the movie that runs the convenience store there, and the Graboids from Tremors, starring Kevin Bacon and Fred Ward, the 1990 movie, which spawned like 4 or 5 sequels, I think, and a TV show.
At least.
And the dad from
Family
Ties, I think, was the only one to be in every single one.
Yeah, him and I don't know Reba wasn't in all of them.
She was in 2, wasn't she, Reba?
She was in 2 of them, I think.
Yeah.
And she got Michael Gross was in all of
So
them.
I'm looking it up here. We've got in the Tremors franchise.
Oh, Mud Grabnoids.
We've got Tremors 2, Aftershocks, Tremor 3, Back to the Perfection, Tremor 4, The Legend Begins, Tremors 5, Bloodlines, Tremors, A Cold Day in Hell, and Tremors, Shrieker Island. Yeah, I got some catching up to do.
Right? I'll watch them after I watch the rest of the Sharknado movies.
Oh, God. No.
Me too. I just got to get through the first. Wait, how many Sharknado movies are there?
There's at least 5.
Too many.
Okay, so I got to at least watch 5. All right, yeah. Tremors was a good one. I definitely watched the first 2.
My number 2.
They're not horror movies, though, right? You wouldn't say?
No.
Or comedy horror? Comedy
Yeah.
horror? Yeah. All right.
Actually,
Sorry,
horror.
go ahead.
My number 2, I didn't pick the original because the effects weren't quite there. I mean, we had the scene in the spider web where the weirdly CGI'd head, not CGI'd head, but overlapped head of help me, in the Vincent Price classic, The Fly. But David Cronenberg's version with Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis was just fantastic.
Yeah, and Cronenberg, Canadian, is just one of those insane minds. Like he's right up there with what's his name, H.R. Geiger. So yeah, good one. That's definitely a good pull there. I didn't even think of that one. All right, what do you got next?
Next up, again, a movie that was a remake, and it was not Matt Dillon, but his brother.
Kevin
Dillon, and
I know
Johnny Smith from the Saw franchise was in this 88 or 89 remake. I'm gonna say The Blob. I thought this one. It was really good, and I watched it not that long ago, and it still really holds up. There's some great practical effect scenes in this movie.
Yeah, I've actually I remember that movie, and I remember it being kind of a big deal at the time. Like I thought that was like it was supposed to be the movie that was supposed to make Kevin Dillon's career, right?
Right.
But it did. But thankfully, Entourage came along.
Yeah.
Too funny. All right, what do you got next?
My number 2. I was definitely way too old to be still getting scared by horror movies. I was probably 12 or 13 when I saw this next one, and it was just so creepy, man. There's actually an old, I don't know, it's like a nursery rhyme or like a poem, which this derived from, and it's creepy as fuck. It's from like the late 1800s, and that's Pumpkinhead, starring Lance Hendrickson and a very, very young Mayim Bialik.
Blossom.
Yeah,
Blossom. Or Amy Farrah Fowler.
Yeah, that's right.
Or host of Jeopardy. I did not know she was in that.
Very young, very young.
I don't think I've ever seen this movie. I think it was one that, like, right from the cover on the old VHS and Betamax, I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, no, creepy. So creepy.
Yeah.
And my next one, nothing against my boy Boris Karloff, who is famous for being the first incarnation of Frankenstein's monster. I was one of those kids that I used to stay up late and watch those really crappy old 1930s, 40s, 50s horror movies on WUTV
Right
way
before
past
the Wu-Tang movies.
yeah, way past my bedtime. I'd have to turn to UHF and get in the Fox viewing position. And but this 1910 silent version, I don't know. It's just something about Frankenstein's monster in this one. It still scares me.
I'm not gonna lie. I've seen this picture numerous times, and I've always thought this was just some kind of parody thing, like from Second City or from old SNL. That's supposed to be Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, scary, scary. I like it. And I'm happy that one of us got one of the old school Universal monsters on there, because I didn't think we were going to, just because they're so out of date. Even when we started watching, they were already old movies, right? So
yeah.
But all right on. Well, let me get to excuse me while I whip this out. My list. I mean, my top 5 list. Number 5 on my list. I've got a few cheats on here, okay, and I don't want you holding this against me at all. But number 5.
How is it fictional?
This is the oh damn. Explain to me again. What's fictional and non-fiction? No. Number 5 on my list. I mean, it's hard to do a monster list without having one of the 2 King of the Monsters on there. And as much as I really liked Kong versus Godzilla, to me, the better and the best Kong movie I've seen, or monster movie of those, has been Kong Skull Island. The one with John Goodman, Brie Larson, and Loki, Tom Hiddleston. Have you been watching this?
John C. Reilly.
John C. Reilly, John Goodman was in it.
Yeah.
Have you seen the new Kurt Russell, Wyatt Russell one?
I watched the first episode.
Monarch. I like it, and it's a continuation from Kong Island.
Right.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that going in either.
That was pretty cool. You get to see John Goodman at the beginning there, but I really did like Kong Skull Island. To me, that's so far been the best one out of them. Like I said, I hear the new Godzilla is the best Godzilla movie ever made. So we'll see. Maybe it joins our list next year. Coming up next on my list, I've had to switch my list around quite a bit because, like I said, there's some stuff on here that I'm not sure if they're a monster or not, but they are to me. And there's no arguing that this first one starts off definitely as a monster, but by the end, his heart grows 3 sizes larger, and he becomes a good guy. And of course, I'm talking about the Grinch who stole Christmas. I mean, he looks like a monster.
Yeah.
He terrorizes the town folk of Whoville. I mean, I'm sticking with it. I'm sticking with the Grinch. And if you don't like that, talk to my roommate Chad, because that was the suggestion. I had it. And I had a couple others, and then he was like, "Oh shit, that's actually a really good one." So the Grinch is on my list. Number 3. I'm sorry, but I have kids, and this movie was great. The first one, at the very least. And of course, I'm talking about Sully, Mike. The folks at Monsters Inc., Pixar. Yeah, this was a fun movie. I mean, it was a good family movie, and maybe one of the last kind of, kids movies cartoon movies I got to watch with my kids and enjoy with them as kids. So, yeah. I
never saw the movie, but I remember Austin had the talking Sully.
Yeah.
And it had about 5, 6, 7 phrases, and man, I heard those things so much.
So you hated it. It was John Goodman.
It was actually really funny, but yeah.
Up next, this was hard to choose between my top 2 here, because these were like 2 iconic movies from both of our childhoods that we both love so much. But for me, for number 2, I had to go with the Christmas movie. Yeah, that's right, folks. It's a Christmas movie. You all forget about it because it was Christmas Eve, where David, I think his name was David, the lead actor, like the lead character's name was David, where his dad goes to Chinatown to pick up a gift for his son, and he buys a pet from this old Chinese guy. And trouble ensues because he feeds them after midnight and he gets them wet and they don't stay cute for very long. My number 2 is Gremlins. It's a good monster movie.
It is great. And it was dark. It was
The
dark for a
first one-
kids movie.
Yeah, the first one. And I don't even know that the first one's really a kid's movie, honestly.
Yeah.
You know, I think we all went to it because they were animatronic puppets or whatever. But yeah, like that jump scares. I still remember jumping out of my seat at the end where Spike comes out of the water all melted and shit after you think he's dead. Yeah, man. Like
I the only reason I remember where I saw it was because of the incident that occurred after we left the theater, and that was I was up visiting my aunt in where she lived in. It was Kitchener at the time, and she asked me if I wanted to go to the movies, and I said yeah, and I got to pick. And when we walked out of that movie, she was like, "Why would you take me to that movie again?" She was traumatized.
And you probably love that even more. Yes. Well, you are an evil one, much like my number 1 monster. I mean, are ghosts and poltergeists considered monsters? I'm going to say yes. Yeah. All right. Well, in that case, I mean, I got to go with the number 1 poltergeist out there and the number 1 ghost kind of guy there is. And he's the ghostest with the mostest. And we're talking, of course, of Michael Keaton's Beetlegeist.
Beetlegeist?
Beetlegeist.
Amazing movie.
Well, there is. I just got a text saying living in Kitchener is more traumatizing than anything else.
I haven't been there in a while, but I can relate.
Steve concurs. So that's my top 5. Here is my shout out. I think this is one of my absolute favorite movies. I don't know if you've actually ever seen this movie though. This is Johnny Boyega. The first time I'd ever seen him, starting off in a British UK movie. That was redundant. Starring in a UK movie called Attack the Block. It had Nick Frost in it. It had, of course, Johnny Boyega, who we see front and center there. The guy beside him to Johnny Boyega's left, that guy was in DC's Legends of Tomorrow. And then all the way above the K, that is the last Doctor from Doctor Who, Jodie Whittaker.
Oh, wow.
One and only female Doctor so far. Oh, I shouldn't say that because in her run, they showed like her in the future and she was a girl again. So, or maybe it was the past. So,
Yeah, I remember the buzz around this movie, and I didn't see it right away, but I did eventually watch it. Yeah,
what'd you think of it?
yeah, it was a fun movie.
Yeah, I really liked it. Now, would you consider that a horror movie?
Yeah, that's one of those ones I think that teeters on the, like people always make the argument of like the Alien movies, is that horror or is it sci-fi or is it sci-fi horror? Attack the Block is one of those ones that's it's almost like a Tremors. It's like an action horror,
right? And
monster
comedy,
yeah,
and a little bit of comedy. Ooh, Mitchell McGuire McPherson coming in with his top 5. Thank you so much. Godzilla, Final War is Fire. Never heard of that one. The Thing, love it. Oh my God, I had the Thing on my list and I didn't even write it when we did the top 5. King Ghidorah from Godzilla. I can never say that one. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Ghidorah from Godzilla, as well as 4 vampires, 30 Days at Night in particular. 5 Werewolf Van Helsing. Yeah, man. Good list. I like it.
I was never a big, I'm not really big on the whole vampire genre, but 30 Days of Night was an intense vampire movie.
Yeah. Was it that one that what's the one that people always mix up? The Sandra Bullock like getting sober movie and the Cillian Murphy like post-nuclear movie.
Oh, 30,
what is it, 28 days later and 38
later.
days sober or something like that. 28 days. Yeah. Boy, did I go to the wrong movie.
How to Lose a Zombie in 28 Days.
That's actually going to be the next spinoff for The Walking Dead.
Right.
Right. Have you given up on Walking Dead at all yet?
No.
I shouldn't say yet.
I stayed on with The Walking Dead. I did drop off of Fear very early because they had basically killed, I think, three of the 4 main cast members within the first season and a half. And I know at least 2 of them were situations where they had gotten other projects that they wanted to be committed to, so they had asked to be written off. But it's tough when you lose like three-quarters of the main cast in the first season and a half. It was just too much for me.
Because they brought Morgan over basically to be the lead, right?
Right.
And he's still, as far as I know, still alive and kicking. But I don't know. Well, you know, it's one of those things. It's one of those things, and I hear people kind of shit on Walking Dead and all the spin-offs, and how come they keep? This is it. Listen, I'm not a fan anymore. I haven't been watching for years, but there's still fans like Steve who love the shit. So why do people always have to yuck on other people's yum? Just because there's Walking Dead stuff being made. This is like the comic book thing for me, like where everyone's like, "Oh, I've had enough with comic book." Don't go. Who gives a fuck? Watching. Just stop yucking on other people's yums. I'm stealing somebody else's saying there, but stop shitting on other people's happiness. Like if people are happy with more Walking Dead stuff coming out, let them be happy. Let them have their shit. You don't have to watch it, and you don't have to shit on it. Running this Geek page some days is some of the most frustrating shit in the world because I can just post, "Oh, I really like this," that everyone who's a fan of geek stuff, or at least comic book stuff, should at least, somewhat agree with, and people are fucking, "Oh, shit on it like it's not. Why isn't this Citizen Kane?" Fuck off. Even with Walking Dead, we're talking about comic books and fictional characters. I really need to get that thing saved from Ben Affleck. That being said, good time for us to hit our last TikTok of the day, and then give a shout out again to our fine folks over at DocNet. And we do that by welcoming our Tik DocNet of the day, or Tik Docker. I don't know. It's a work in progress, honestly. Excuse me. But folks, if you are looking for cheaper internet in your area, do yourself a favor. Go over to docnet.ca. Give Tony a call. Let him know that the fine folks over here at RatG TV, that's right, I said Steve and I are both fine folks. Take that as you will. But let him know that we sent you his way, and have Tony get you the deals you need and tighten those purse strings a little bit, because you know what, folks? Christmas is just a few weeks away. So save yourself some money, but don't sacrifice service. Go to docnet.ca and have Tony connect your world to your home. Man, and that's it. That was beautiful. All right. Last TikToker of the night. This one, because it is the Christmas season, one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time is Home Alone. It's become a staple for every family out there. But I always wonder, like, what were the neighbors doing at that point? And they definitely weren't black folk if they were neighbors. Because if they were black folk, I think it would be a little bit something like this.
How you doing, officer? Oh, yes, we will be home every night of the Christmas holiday. Thank you for your concern. No, you may not come in. Do you know that police officer in his gold tooth asked me why I'm not on the south side? Oh, they got a lot of kids over there. And they garage wide open. No, I will not mind my business. That little boy is by himself. I told you. That same van keeps driving up and down the street. But let me have lost Junior. CPS would have been knocking on the door. Where's your mom and dad? You hungry? I'm making chicken sauce. Do you like chicken sauce? So you the knee baby, right? You got a younger brother? Oh, so Autumn, okay, that's your cousin. Well, y'all look just alike. Your family is in Paris? So the robbers are coming at 9 p.m. tonight to rob your house. And instead of calling the police, you, an 8-year-old, have rigged the house with explosives and hijinks. And they ate your pizza? You need to be an engineer. We need to get you like an engineering camp or something. Well, why they so mean to you? Your mama want to cut up at the airport and cuss everybody out. She should have put that same energy into making sure you on that shuttle. Well, I'm glad you knew to go to church. You gotta call on him. Baby, he tearing them robbers up. Oh, now Kevin Mama want to call and thank me. Hello? He's all safe? Yes, you're welcome. Don't let it happen again, okay?
Whoops. So there we go. That happened. Yeah. So that's Home Alone in a black neighborhood. The hijinks still ensue. It's just much better commentary. Ladies and gentlemen, every week we do the show, and one of at least one of my favorite segments is and one of your favorites as well is each and every week when Steve comes in and gives us his movie review. And folks, you love it. We put I think one of the reasons why they like it so much is because we put all of the money that we make into this production of this segment. Like, this is top-notch production value. I mean, Disney, look out. I mean, the Colbert Show has been calling us, asking if we could come and produce just because of this segment. And so if you've never seen Steve's 5-second
Jay Leno had the RatG TV dancers.
He did. But I mean, that's the whole reason why he wants to come out of retirement, is just to bring the RatG TV dancers back. We were more popular than the Dancing Edos. We are so old. Nobody got that reference. But we've got Steve's 5-second movie review. What happens is Steve's going to take.
Glad that we share a brain.
Yes, we do share a brain. Steve is reviewing the movie Bye Bye Barry in his 5-second movie review. And what happens is we take 5 seconds, put it on the board, and in that 5 seconds, Steve gives us his review of said movie. With that being said, what better time than us to get to Steve's 5-second movie review by Steve. Did you see John Travolta's new Santa Claus commercial?
I did not.
And he's like dancing. Anyways. I was not doing it any justice either way. Little known fact though.
You have a little bit Saturday Night Fever.
I couldn't help it. Well, he does the Saturday Night Fever dance. Like, he gets on. Yeah, it's John Travolta. He's always going to do that. And I played John Travolta, Danny, in Greece when I was in grade 8 because there was nobody else. I'm going to have to record a bumper for that for you. Please do. We will take it. We will take that bumper. Steve, so you are reviewing the movie Bye Bye Barry.
Yeah, and we were kind of pressed for time at the beginning. I thought I was going to ask if we could pull up maybe a few seconds of highlights for Barry there to, for maybe some of our younger viewers who didn't grow up in the 90s and didn't witness his greatness. But Bye Bye Barry, number 20 for the Detroit Lions. I mean, very little success in the playoffs. Most of the years he was there was under Coach Wayne Fonts. They just never seemed to be able to get it together. And the day after the release of Bye Bye Barry, Scott Mitchell made some comments to the news, who was the quarterback for the majority of the run there. And he said he's sick of being blamed for the lack of success of the Detroit Lions. This was not on Scott Mitchell. Scott Mitchell had fucking Brett Perriman and Herman Moore to throw to. Those two of the greatest wide receivers of their time. Yeah. And they never had a defense. They never had a great offensive line, and they never had a defense. I've always said nothing against Emmitt Smith, but you put Barry Sanders on that same Dallas Cowboys team with the greatest offensive line in the history of the NFL.
He breaks every NFL record.
Records.
Every record.
Because he did on the Lions, and they were shit.
No. Exactly. He is, like you said, he is one of the greatest ever. Before we get to your review, I agree. Let's take a quick look for the kids at home who have never had the privilege of seeing one Barry Sanders. You see that all right? No, yep. We can't. Like, look, against my Vikings, against the Packers.
Just breaking ankles.
Like, that's all this is. This is just a 2 minutes of him breaking ankles. And this doesn't even do it justice because you are not even seeing.
No.
Like, these are just the cuts that he's made at the end. But there's one, look at that one, where he cuts back. There's one where he turns, I think they're playing the Patriots, and he turns the safety in a complete 360. Right there, actually, was the Cowboys. Man, and yeah, you're right. If he played on that Cowboys team, he would have broken every record imaginable.
And just a class act, as we were talking about before. Never celebrated, never spiked the ball. He would always find the ref, hand the ball over. And his dad was a big part of the documentary. Definitely saw some similarities between the relationship of him and Barry and Tiger Woods and his dad. His dad was very, focused on Barry, being a professional in every sense of the word. He told his son, when you get to the end zone, act like you've been there before.
Yeah. Oh, and it was the Patriots. There's that move right there. Sorry, kids. You have to see that one again. So watch this one here on this play coming right here. Watch. Oh, whoop. Complete 360. I will always remember this. And that is, who's that? Ty Law for the Patriots? One of the greatest
Might have been, yeah.
safeties of all time. All right, folks. Well, that's that. And yeah, man, Barry Sanders, greatest running back of all time, in both of our humble opinions. So let's get to this. Just before we do, Adam Walsh says, man, off topic, but RatG TV has come a long way with quality from the geekery days. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate that. The only thing that we can really use now to up our game is like to have this really top-notch hot sauce that nobody else has. Only we knew somebody who did that sort of thing. Inside joke. We used to have our own hot sauce, and that was it was made by the one and only Adam Walsh there, and that it was great. We still have people
still requested,
like always, still asking us for that. But yeah, all right. So Steve, we're gonna like we said, we have got the best production quality in the business, as y'all saw from the title sequence there, the title open. Now wait till you see the technology that we have here. We're putting 5 seconds on the board here. Steve, are you ready?
I am ready.
All right, here we go. Steve's review of Bye Bye Barry. 5 seconds are on the board. You may begin now.
Hand off to Barry. He's at the 1. He's at the 2. He's at the 3. He's at the 4. He's at the 5. It's a 5. It's a 5 out of 5. Barry has done it. It's a 5.
The puppy agrees. What's the puppy's name again?
Lulu.
Lulu agrees. Oh, so you're giving this a 5.
It was such a great sports documentary. If you're a fan of sports documentaries, if we're a fan of Barry Sanders, if you're a fan of football at all, I mean, this is just a great watch.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm a huge Barry Sanders fan. I'm planning on watching this. I didn't know it was out already, to be honest. I would have half expected to see it show up on Flixster at some point and didn't see it there. So guess I'll have to go and watch it on Prime. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So a 5 out of 5, folks. If you're a sports fan, if you're a football fan, and you're a fan of the Wingnuts prognostications, see how I incorporated football there as well? You can go check that movie out, because I definitely will. Well, that being said, wow. And now it's time for a little something else. Yeah, folks, it's that time of the day where we get to show you what's going on in the world of pop culture with This Week in Geek. And I just want to say, I know that both Steve and I are from Welland, and we're both sniffling a lot, but we both have a bit of a cold. It's nothing to do with cocaine.
I work outdoors.
And I'm fat and out of shape. and it's cold outside, so I get the sniffles. No, for real. But our favorite catchphrase is "catch the wave." Wellanders can't afford Coke. Not these Wellanders. You are absolutely right when it comes to that. All right, so folks, like we do every week, we like to bring in the week of news, what's been going on. But unfortunately, we start off every week with the Doctor of Death himself, the Hollywood Grim Reaper, Steve Lambert, the Wellandwingnut, and he brings us the celebrity deaths each week. And oops, jumped the gun a little there.
Yeah, well, it was a look into the future.
It was, and I could just say, revoked, diplomatic immunity revoked.
Right, diplomatic immunity. That's where my mind goes every time I see Josh Ackland. Of course, he was in so many great movies. Hunt for Red October. Of course, he was the bad guy in Evil Ted's Excellent Journey. 95 years old.
95, huh?
95. So great life.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's the secret of a good life, folks. Play the villain. Play the villain. It's okay, guys. I'm here now. Uh-oh. The troublemaker is in the house, folks. Kendall is here.
Pressure's off now. Pressure's off.
Woo! Woo-wee. Did I don't know if I mentioned this, and I just happen to have these here. I have chopsticks because, you know, I like to use my chopsticks. Did you see them?
I did.
All right, that's it. That's it. That's not news. That was just
shameless Star Wars plug.
They were just in front of me, so I had to show. You know. Anyways, well, that's a good life he's had. You know, there's some things that have died in Hollywood that don't stay dead. Like a lot of TV shows, we're seeing a lot of revivals. And I never mind seeing a revival, especially like, you know, Mad About You came back after like 10, 15 years off the air.
Frasier.
Yeah, Frasier was off the air for a good 10, 15 years. So I don't mind seeing them come back. Supernatural just went off the air a couple of years ago. And Jensen Ackles was recently asked at a convention if there was ever a possibility of it doing like Frasier and coming back. And he said, stay tuned. I love Supernatural, but why won't this stay dead? Why won't you just stay dead? No, same thing with the Walking Dead thing though, and with comic book movies. Listen, if there's a market for it, there's people out there that like it, then go ahead and make it. Why not? The companies can make money, and the people that enjoy that shit could keep watching it and enjoying it, and maybe pass it on to their kids and their kids. You know, that's all long-lasting franchises like Star Wars happen. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But I'm just saying, I'm not.
Unless you flyer.
Bring back Warehouse 13. Who is this Facebook user? I fell asleep last night to reruns of Warehouse 13. I don't know who Facebook user is, but I'm with you. The guy that was the lead in that, Eddie, who plays a very goofy FBI type character, he was my pick for the longest time to be Superman. Just saying. You'd have to see him, but yeah. Anyways, go ahead, Steve.
Producer Joel Silver has been let go from the the only Roadhouse remake, starring, of course, Jake Gyllenhaal. It looks like more and more now that this movie is going to be headed straight to streaming, but you'll have to stay tuned for more news on that.
Why? Just why?
Right. I think this one just needs to get the old left boot, or was it right boot?
Right boot. I think it just needs to get the old chop to the throat. No, you know what? Make the movie. I'm actually kind of interested to see what it's like, and it's already been made. I'm pretty sure. But
I tell you what, we'll let the ghost of Jeff Healy watch it, and whatever he thinks of it.
Well, shouldn't it be a viewing party with him and Patrick Swayze?
Right.
Oh, too soon. And this is the guy from Warehouse 13. That's them at Comic-Con. I think he could have been Superman back in the day. He's got the look. He's no Joel Silver though. But then again, who is? Sometimes
you got to find the silver linings.
Love it. I do hear that his favorite beer is Coors Light because it's the silver bullet. Yeah, and he likes Bob Seger. All right, I'm gonna stop now.
Where's my gun?
Whoa, you got some silver bullets in there. Hi-yo silver. All right. Alien Romulus is set to be between the original film and Aliens. So I mean, all right, more Alien goodness coming our way. What do you think about another Alien movie that's coming between? It's basically just going to be where people want it to be.
Yeah,
it's between the original and Aliens, because people are just like, okay, 1 and 2, great. Everything else, what the fuck?
I'm just assuming here. I'm going out on a limb and assuming, much like a lot of similar franchises, there's a Camp Alien and a Camp Predator, and maybe some people that like both. But I think a lot of people would take a side. And I was more of a Predator person. The Aliens movies, I appreciate them. Definitely,
yeah.
I can appreciate them for sure. They just weren't my cup of tea. Great. So they had great cast. For the most part, they had great special effects. The stories for me just kind of repeated themselves.
Yeah, it wasn't really doing it for me either. Honestly,
I really enjoyed the later ones. The ones was it Aliens? Was it in Aliens versus Predator? The one with the pyramids?
AVP.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
I like the second one. The second one's probably my favorite. And then at the time, I didn't mind 3, the one with Winona Ryder.
Oh, that's
and
right.
The Ripley clone, and the Ripley clone that came back. So.
And we're not even going to talk about Prometheus.
Well, we just did. You just did. You said it. Say it 2 more times, and we have to watch it. Don't say it again.
Again?
No. Oh no. That just will not do. So yeah, that's what's happening there. And
all your hate mail to wellandwingnut@gmail.com.
Yo, do you watch Warrior?
I do.
Did you watch all season 3?
I haven't finished this season yet.
Oh man, I can't wait to anyone who's watching Warrior, you know how great it is. For me, season 3 was definitely worth the fucking wait. It was everything I was waiting for and more, and everything I was hoping for and more. And I think the greatest story arc or character arc, you and I talked about this before the show started, was Kieran Bew, who plays Big Bill on the show. His character arc on this story is fucking great, especially this season. And he had some good news today that kind of connects with your next story.
Yeah, the long-awaited season 2 of House of Dragon will be out in the summer of 2024. The trailer is out now. You can go watch it after the show. After the show.
That's correct.
I'm looking forward to this, man. This first season ended on such a fucking cliffhanger. It was just like, I mean, we kind of, at least at the very end, we kind of saw it coming, but it was no less shocking than it was to actually see it played out. And just wow, I can't wait.
Well, Kieran has announced that he's been added to this cast as well for season 2, so it'll be great to see what he can do there. I don't know if I'm going to watch it, though. I still haven't watched the first season. I gave up on Game of Thrones after the Red Wedding. I just couldn't do it. And I have a feeling that House of Dragons is the same type of rip your heart out type of show where you're going to get really connected to a character. And because they're a good-hearted person.
Well, if you can keep track of who the characters are, because there's so many time jumps in that first season, we see a lot of character changes in the younger actors. And it's just, I remember the first couple of, I was like, what is going on here? I'm way too stoned. I got to watch this later.
Kendall says Team Matt Smith.
Fantastic.
Well, I'll give you this. Matt Smith is my all-time favorite Doctor from Doctor Who. So, and I've heard nothing but praise for him in the House of the Dragon. So, right on, indeed. I know you're not a comic book fan per se, like you read The Walking Dead and stuff, but not so much mainstream. You know who Nightcrawler is, though.
Yep.
And you know who Mystique is, right?
I do.
In the movies, I think they're like brother and sister, or they were supposed to be in the comic books. And in the cartoon, she was in the old like 87 or 97 cartoon, or 96, I think it was, the Fox animated.
Yeah.
She was said to be his mom, and remember she had thrown him in a basket at birth, and then went down the river and over a cliff, and he survived. Anyways, the comic books have retconned their origin story again. It's well known that she's been in a loving domestic relationship with a mutant who could see the future named Destiny, Irene Adler. So it's a Mystique. They were like always known as one of the first lesbian couples in comics. Now, the new origin story for how Nightcrawler came to be is that instead of Mystique and Azariel being mother and father, Mystique becomes a man herself because she can change her physiology and impregnates Irene Adler, Destiny, and that's how Nightcrawler comes to be. So I just want to know how the woke, or not the woke, I want to know how the broflakes are going to get mad about this. Because she's a shape changer. She could have did this no matter what. I almost posted this. I was going to post a story on the page, and then I was like, oh my God, broflakes will lose their fucking shit if I do, and I don't know if I could deal with it.
Next thing you know, they're going to be hating on cuttlefish.
Well, they cuddle too much. They don't.
And shapeshift.
They do.
And
Do they?
Change their gender.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Damn it. Damn transgender cuttlefish.
It's just to get laid, though. It's just to get laid, get past the more stronger, dominant cuttlefish. So I think it's a pretty badass move.
It's a smart move on their part.
It's the Thor and Loki thing, you know, when they dressed up as women to try and get Myanmar back.
Yeah. Mjolnir. Mjolnir. Steve McGinnis, co-host of Two Severed Heads, that you can catch every other Thursday right here on the RatG TV, Ryan's All Things Geek page, or the Two Severed Head page. I think you guys have a page too, right?
Yeah.
Go follow it. He says, The Thing, Dog Soldiers, The Relic. I don't know Dog Soldiers.
I know the movie. I can't remember if I've seen it or not, though, but yeah.
Screw those cuttlefish, those heathens. Indeed.
And all your hate mail to
the Wellandwingnut at gmail.com.
I was gonna say the guy who does those nature documentaries, but don't do that.
David Attenborough.
Don't do that.
Richard Attenborough. Yeah.
David Attenborough.
Yeah. You know what?
Richard's his brother. He's a dick.
Yes. Attenborough.
I'll show myself out.
Attenborough. When you do, just make sure that you're back for 3 days. You don't have to be back here in 3 days, but just make sure you're somewhere in 3 days, because that is the day that I think you've been waiting for over a decade.
I cannot wait to be disappointed.
To find out that this is just it's a trailer for a new download pack.
I'm sorry, Rockstar. You've done this to yourself. You've done this to yourself. Yeah, all appearances show that we are probably a good 18 months to 2 years away from the release of the newest Grand Theft Auto game, based on the previous timelines as to where we got the trailer and where the actual release of the game was. So probably looking at maybe first quarter, second quarter of 2025 release, I'm thinking, or possibly Christmas that year.
You're pretty optimistic, sir. It's going to be a trailer just for the new download, for the newest.
There's rumors of pre-orders taking place already too, and also that this this game is going to break the mold of the traditional price point of games.
So it's going to be cheaper or really,
It's going to
really
be
expensive?
more expensive.
Well, it's a good thing I don't play these games.
Yeah, I've been hearing somewhere in around the $130 to $150 mark.
Dang. That's when you buy an exclusive game with all the like, you know, the VIP
I
version.
mean, they are at about $2 billion in development right now. So
Damn, man. That's
I mean,
one.
the first one's made like, or the last one made like $8 billion or something fucking stupid like that. So,
Well, I guess it's either you buy that game or you save up for your trip to the moon.
right.
Right. That was the worst segue ever, but we all know that China just has been building some stuff on the moon as of late. And because of that, NASA's like, whoa, so are we. NASA has decided that they're going to send a massive 3D printer to the moon to kickstart infrastructure development. Yo, it's happening. Like, it's fucking happening. They're colonizing the moon. The next Great War, the next World War is going to take place on the fucking moon as China and the States probably go to war over territory up there. I don't know they'll actually go to war, but I think this is smart on the part of Americans or of NASA, but I have to honestly believe that China's already done this because setting up a giant 3D printer up there saves you so much in money for having to take additional flights up there to get shit up there and equipment because you can just manufacture it right there on lunar.
I'm gonna wait and place blame at whoever builds the first church, synagogue, and or mosque on the moon for the World War. Just saying. Send all your email to wellandwingnut@gmail.com.
I don't think the moon will have one. I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna be it's the first religious.
Please don't let it be the Church of Scientology.
It would almost make sense, though.
Right.
That would be the only one that would be there.
Wait, no. Who's the one that believe in?
That's actually what they're colonizing the moon for. Is that
who's the one that believe in the spaceship? Is that the Mormons?
The spaceships? The Mormons
theory. Yeah,
I think so. And same with Scientologists a bit too, I believe. You all will love Space Jesus.
I do love Space Jesus. I like little baby 5 pound 4 ounces Space Jesus. That's my favorite Jesus.
Space Jesus is actually the name of the weed that I bought last week.
Yeah,
what? It was good. It was out of this world, man.
What I want to know is what would Republican Space Jesus do?
Ooh,
What's fired?
There's no such thing as a Republican Jesus. I'm kidding. Send all your hate mail to the Wellandwingnut. 3D print with what? Plastic, cement? No, they'll bring up. That's what they'll send up there. Is they'll send up the 3D printers with that stuff that you put in.
It's a resin.
Yeah, it's a resin, so it's a little bit lighter, and yeah, you can move more of it than you can actual material, right? So. And who knows? Like, we all know the moon's fake anyway, so like they'll have just go in the basement and get stuff out of there.
Plus, once everybody finds out it's made out of cheese,
then they'll find out that Urkel lives there. Oh my God, that Urkel Christmas movie was so fucking bad, so fucking bad. Why? What?
Please tell me when you watched it. As soon as it was over, you shut it off and you just looked at yourself and said, "Why did I do that?"
Dude, I didn't even make it through the whole movie. I didn't even make it through the whole thing. How can Jaleel White not do a proper impersonation of Jaleel White? How are you the voice of Urkel and can't do an Urkel impersonation?
He may have been
like I was doing it.
He may have been on some edibles or some kind of new wheat strain.
All I know is that shit was just weak. If that was a cash grab, I hope it got none of the cash. And,
Well, he'll have to just sit and revel in the
Deal with
fallout.
deal with all the fallout. Exactly. We both have the same segue in mind.
Yeah, Fallout teaser. It was a teaser, right? Wasn't it a full trailer?
Yeah, but that teaser was basically a full trailer.
Yeah, it was a full. Okay, it was a full trailer. I didn't get a chance to see it. I saw it briefly just before we went live. But I mean, this game series was so popular. You know, it was just a matter of time before we got some kind of TV show and/or movie out of this. So, my kid played it. I mean, it was definitely an interesting game. I just I don't have a whole lot of time to take on new games, especially ones as in depth as this. So I never did really get into it. But I'm sure I'll check out the series.
Yeah, and Goggins looks great. And Walter Goggins is good in everything. Or Walton Goggins, sorry.
Walton,
yeah, but he's great in everything. So, yeah, I love it, man. And, well, I shouldn't say I love it, but I love what I've seen so far. And like you, I never really got into these games, but I'll definitely check it out. Another game series that I did check out last year, it came out on Paramount. One of my friends is the stunt coordinator on it, and the stunts are great on the show, but I honestly didn't care for it the first season that much. And that was the first season of Halo. Did you watch it on Paramount?
I did not.
Yeah. They've announced season 2 is going to launch on February 8th, 2024. And okay. They got a lot of work to do though to keep my interest going for the entire second season. I don't care how good the stunts are. The story's got to pick up. And you know, I had Xbox when the Xbox first came out, so I had Halo, and you know, it's just hard.
It was a game I never got into.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just couldn't do it. It's just kind of made me want to scream.
Not that kind of scream.
Oh, and we both missed that story too. Before we get into the next Scream story, Macaulay Culkin got his star on the Walk of Fame. We talked about it last week, but that actually happened. And Catherine O'Hara, his mom from Home Alone, did his induction speech, which was fucking great. So we love that. And Catherine O'Hara, we also love because Canadian. That's it.
Another very talented actress. We found out this is about a week or so ago. We found this out, but you know, we didn't do a show last week. So Jenna Ortega has left the Scream franchise. Will not appear in Scream 7. This comes after Melissa Barrera was fired for posting anti-Semitism remarks and posts on her social media. So
yeah, but Jenny Ortega,
anti-Semitic.
That's
what I was looking for.
And a lot of people thought that Jenny Ortega was leaving as a result of that, but this is something that they talked about months and months ago about that she might not be able to come back. Excuse me, because her loyalties lay with the Wednesday series, and that's going to be filming around the same time, and just scheduling problem wasn't going to work.
Saying you guys fucked up by not paying Nev.
Well, so here's what I've heard. Here's what I heard is the next movie is going to bring back Nev and Patrick Dempsey.
I hope she rakes them across the coals.
She better. And if I could just say again, Nev Campbell, Canadian. So give her that. Give her her bag. She deserves it. She definitely deserves it. Not just because she's Canadian, but because you know she put in the work there.
Plus, she's Canadian, so it actually works out to paying her less.
Yeah. Oh, what is that? So I keep getting these scammer text messages, and I love that they, instead of coming from a phone number, this one says, and feel free to message this person if you like, folks. It comes from a Gmail account, Mana Lisa 907. So it's MANALISA So it's Mana Lisa 907. Hello. I get these a lot, and then I've been screwing with them lately. The last one should we try calling them? Should we try calling them right now? Let's try calling. Let's do a FaceTime. See what happens. Oh, you can't FaceTime. All right, so we'll just put it to junk. That would have been fun. Been trying to do that lately with when they call back because I hate it when they do that. It makes me just go berserk. Speaking of berserk, weird little segue there. But my favorite berserker moment in any Wolverine movie never once came from Hugh Jackman.
Right.
One time he did a really good berserker Wolverine rage. That was in X-Men 2 when he was protecting the Xavier Institute. The only other person to do a proper Wolverine berserker rage was young Daphne Keene in Logan. She is, anytime anyone asks, like, oh, gee, who's like the best Wolverine? There's only been one person, but Daphne Keene has played Wolverine better than Hugh Jackman. I get people love Hugh, but you guys, you realize he's the only one ever to play it. You don't have anything to hold it up against. And for me, Daphne is the best part of that. Well, we know Hugh's back in Deadpool 3, but now there are rumors that Star Wars Acolyte star and Logan star Daphne Keene will be joining Deadpool 3 as X-23. And yo, I'm down with this. I think she's great. I love her in Logan. I haven't seen that new show she's in. What is it? It's like a Disney show or something. Not a Disney show, but give me a second. I've got it here. She was on the Wheel of Time. Was it the Wheel of Time? I think it was called. Oh, His Dark Materials is what she's in. And I've heard a lot of good things about that show. I haven't actually seen it, but yeah, man, I'm down for this. And Deadpool 3 is the only MCU movie coming out in 2024 so far. So that's going to be big. I think that's going to reset the universe a little bit. And I think it's a good idea for Marvel to take a step back and try to reassess things moving forward. You know, because, hey, man, sometimes you just got to do that. It's not like they're the boys. It's not like they could just keep pushing out just whatever they want and it's going to work. Like they got The Boys Mexico coming out. Did you see that? They announced that.
I didn't know.
Yes, The Boys Mexico is coming out. And that's not the only fucking boys news we got.
Yeah, it seems like the writers over at The Boys are putting up, each putting up their 5 worst ideas up onto the board, and then they're just throwing darts at it, and it's just working every fucking time because the show is just absolutely crazy.
Yeah,
we know now that The Boys will be out in early 2024. We got a little bit of a teaser released. Go watch that after the show.
That's right. The Boys Season 4 trailer was released. You can watch that. Go on to Ryan's All Things Geek on Facebook to watch it there, if you will, because we posted that as well. Yeah, this show is fucking insane. Like you said, they throw the crazy shit at the wall, and it all works. It all sticks. It all sticks. I love, so Eric Kripke, the guy that the showrunner of this.
I believe he pronounces it Quipke.
Quipke. No, that's Barry. That's Bowie Quipke. Eric Kripke was the showrunner and creator of Supernatural. We talked about earlier. That's why we got Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy is on the show. We saw, if you watch the trailer, the very end of the trailer, we see Bill the Butcher speaking with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, also from Supernatural, who played the Winchester's dad. Now, Eric Kripke said, we've got Bobby Singer, who was on Supernatural. We've got Jensen Ackles, who was on Supernatural. We've got Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He said, fuck it. He's going to have to bring Jared Padalecki on now. So I think Padalecki's already been on the show. He's already been filmed whatever for this season. And it's going to be something that's going to blow our minds. And I think it's going to be one of those.
It's going to blow something.
I hope so. I hope so. I love Supernatural. I do really hope, though, that they just kill Jared Padalecki off right away in The Boys, like horrifically, in the worst, most embarrassing way possible. Love you.
And then we can all give thanks.
We could all give thanks because that's what it's all about in the season of giving.
That's right.
But you know what? White meat, dark meat. It'll all get
There's
cut.
no right answer.
It all gets cut.
Yeah. That's right. And not a stranger to cutting the meat. Eli Roth's Thanksgiving has already announced the sequel, the long-awaited fake Grindhouse trailer that was actually turned into a movie earlier this year, filmed in Northern Ontario. We know that the sequel now will be out in 2025, so looking forward to that.
Yeah. And I think they filmed a bunch of it in Hamilton too. Or somewhere. Yeah. By the way, though, yeah, bring it more. Bring it on.
Second helping.
Give us a second helping, and let your fury reign. If you are a fan of the Rand's All Things Geek page, you saw that we posted the trailer for the prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, Furiosa, based on Charlize Theron's character Furiosa in the Mad Max movie. Did you see that movie? Mad Max Fury?
The first Mad Max?
No, like the one with Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron.
Fury Road.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're making a prequel to that.
Okay.
And it's starring Anna Taylor-Joy as Furiosa. And we got to see a very crazy-looking Chris Hemsworth in this trailer, too. And this movie is George Miller at George Miller's absolute fucking best. It looks apocalyptic as fuck. What are those guys? With those guys that spray their face with their back, Joe's back, like, so it looks good. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, go on Ryan's All Things Geek, scroll down the page a bit, look for that trailer. You will not be disappointed.
If you hadn't told me who that was, I would have thought it was Zach Wilde.
Right though, and here you can see it. You can kind of see it's Chris Hemsworth. In the trailer, I had no clue it was Chris Hemsworth. Like, it's Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder level. Like, that is some
minus the sausage fingers.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Yeah, that's right.
And last story, Tom Holland. Amy Pascal, who is the head of Sony Pictures, said that there's definitely going to be another Spider-Man trilogy coming out, to which Tom Holland said, whoa. I'm not even saying I'm going to do a Spider-Man 4. Tom Holland says the only way he does a Spider-Man 4 is if the story is good. And I kind of like where his head's at. We all know he's going to do one no matter what, because money talks in the end. All of us would. So we need to get up our high horses. But I do like that he said that he wants it to be a good script. And he said something that I totally agree with. Spider-Man, his 3 Spider-Man movies is that one rare occurrence in movie franchises where each movie gets better as they go. And you don't see that. Even if we just stick with Marvel movies. Iron Man 1, great movie. Iron Man 2, horrible movie. Iron Man 3, mixed reviews. I really liked it. Everybody else pretty much fucking hated it. Captain America 1 was okay. Captain America Civil War, really good. Winter Soldier, fucking great. I'm just saying, like, Star Wars, New Hope, good. Empire Strikes Back, great. Return of the Jedi, was it good? I mean, if you were a little kid when Return of the Jedi came out, it was great. If you were a teenager when it came out, you're like, oh, this is a lot of Muppets.
If you're 48 and still act like a 6-year-old, you still love it.
Oh yeah, of course. So but I agree with Tom Holland here. I like the idea of making sure it's a proper story, but we know that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of what the story will be. That is my last story. I did have one last person I forgot to mention for Movie Monster. Who did we forget, Eleanor?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Right?
And I mean,
more.
What about?
Oh, well, that's not a monster.
And he hasn't been in a movie yet. Blumhouse, we're looking at you.
Blumhouse. Let's go. Hey, Luke Tuff, can you talk to the Jason Blum and those folks over there? And
I'm pretty sure he has to stay within 1,000 feet away from Blumhouse.
I think you're
They're
right.
going to cease and assist.
Well, we still want to see the Clan Shark movie, the sequel. Clanny Boys in the Hood.
Played by Walton Goggins.
Walter Goggins and the guy from Breaking Bad.
Right.
No, Bryan Cranston.
Take your pick.
Take your pick. It could be any of them. Any of them. What do you got going on this week? Anything?
I am on Puppy Patrol all weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good old Paw Patrol, buddy. Well, you know what?
It's sweeps week, so puppy.
Puppy. Oh, I should put up a picture of my grandbaby. Then we'd really win with the sweeps as well. Babies and puppies.
Yeah.
But instead, you get a couple of idiots like these guys. These guys. Yeah, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. I'm going to have to jet out of here as well because in a half an hour time, it is playoff time. It is Big Ten Championship where JJ and the Wolverines.
And it's looking like my Knowles and your Wolverines might be meeting in the playoffs.
Yeah, buddy. I don't want to hear anything about us cheating. Just get over it. I don't care.
I'll reserve judgment until after it's a win or a loss.
Yeah. If you guys win, you got no problems. There. All right. Well, folks, hope you all have a fantastic week. I believe we will be back next week as well. I don't think I have anything on the go, but if not, just keep an eye out there and we'll let you know. But for the Wellandwingnut, it's your boy Zeus. Hope you all have a fantastic week. And from us to you, have a good one. Peace out.